Now coming to the most important and burning topic, where we are finding that huge number of customers, potential customers, or the clients find it really difficult to understand what is the sequence number. Now there is a see, we should admit this fact that pre e-invoice regime and post e-invoice regime, so far as sequence number is concerned, has to be take care very very seriously. Now let's understand what does it mean. So in a generic sense, we understand about the invoice number, that is a general you know invoice number, right? But when there is a material of sequence in it, we need to understand that each and every invoice which is getting generated from your e-invoice solution unit, either POS or a backend ERP, has to be sequentially generated. E-invoice solution may contain one or more units. E-invoice unit can be assigned to a specific location or can be a cash register that generate a single paper tape as a record. If invoices are generated in a separate location on separate unit, please read it again. If invoices are generated in separate location on separate unit, each unit should generate a single invoice sequence. The government want there should not be any requirement of coordination between two multiple e-invoice unit solution unit for the purpose of generation of invoices. Each e-invoice solution unit should provide a separate sequence, a unique sequence, so as to maintain the required provisions or guidelines of the ZATCA. Even in phase 2, this invoice sequence number will be very very critical for generating previous invoice hash. Okay, next please. Now let's understand what are the some of the best practices which we are required to be followed for the purpose of e-invoice. We always heard that till now we are able to modify the invoice, cancel the invoice, delete the invoice. Now question comes, what would be requirement in phase 1 when e-invoice is coming into the picture, right? So the answer to this question is you are not allowed either to modify, cancel, or delete any of the e-invoice which once has been generated. If there is any cancellation or suspension, any essential change or amendment, any amendment in the supply value or which is pre-agreed, and in case of goods or services return, you are required to handle those situation only and only by way of credit and debit notes. That means you are not allowed to change anything in the invoice which is already generated. And also your credit and debit note, the details can be which will be same as your tax invoice, but with two additional information, that you need to provide the original invoice number and the reason, the core reason which you can see in your screen, the reason why you are issuing the debit and credit note, that needs to be provided. Coming to the next, that is advance payment. You are required to generate an e-invoice for the advance payment. For the deemed supply, that is a nominal supply, you are required to generate an e-invoice for the deemed or nominal supply.